You want to copy trade so you can get multiple payouts from the same action across many accounts. Well, let's talk about what's actually needed, what you need to think about, and how you actually need to execute this in order for that to be a reality for you. Now, before you start copy trading, there are a few things that you're going to need. A is enough capital to get this done, and we'll talk about maybe some needs here in just a second. You're also going to need a decent strategy that actually works and it's worked consistently, and I would argue you should probably have gotten a payout before you start copy trading, as if you can't do it once, you're probably not going to be able to do it across 5, 10, 15, 20 different accounts. The third thing you're going to need is enough time in the day. I hear this a lot where traders want to copy trade, but also don't have enough time to look at the charts throughout the day. And it's not a huge deal, but if you can't spend 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and I'm talking about a manual strategy right now, but if you can't spend 15 to 20 minutes at a time looking at a chart, you're not going to get the feel for what the market's doing. Okay, sometimes it takes a little bit for you to settle in and to see what price is actually doing before you can find your moves. You have to have the time to be able to do that. If you don't, it can be very difficult to catch consistent trades throughout the day. Now, capital needed. What I would say with this is you need enough to where you can probably do this 4 or 5 times, maybe even 6, maybe even 10 times, right? So let's just say you're going to get 10 accounts and each account is $50. That's $500. Well, you probably need $3,000. $4,000 in order to make sure that you're going to be able to do this right. And the reason for that is you don't want to have in the back of your mind, this is my last dollars. If I don't pass these or if I blow them up, then I'm done trading for a while. You also need to have the capital to, when you pass, to be able to pay for the funded account activation fee, right? There's always going to be that depending on your firm. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But then also what's the end goal here? Okay, a lot of traders just focus on passing evals and then trying to get payouts, but trading is a much larger picture than that, which is what are you actually going for here? If we're trying to get $1,000 payout per account and we're trying to do that twice a month, okay, we're trying to, if we're sticking with 10 accounts, we're trying to get $20,000 a month, which is sweet. That's our goal. And so if we have a $20,000 goal, that's what we want to do, then we need to have enough cash in order to get that. And we also need to have the right mindset in order to capture that money, because it can happen for you. It absolutely can happen for you. But if you think that hey, I can only pass an eval, or hey, I can only, get a couple days in a funded account before I blow it, then it's never going to come your way. All right. So we need to have a few things in mind before we start copy trading. Now let's move on to which prop firms make the most sense. Let me go ahead and zoom out just a tad, and then we're going to delete that. Okay. Now, this is a big one. Which prop firms are best for you depends on what type of trader you are. And there are a lot of different ways that this can work. I personally prefer TopStep and Apex if we're going to talk about funded accounts. And in this case, I might even say Apex is number one. And here's a great reason why. I am a high volatility trader, meaning I'm going to take a lot of trades at times, and I'm going to take decent size as well because I want to be in and out. And so I'm going to blow up a few accounts. That's just part of the game. And so I need to trade a firm that gives me enough room, enough leverage, but then also a cheap enough account to where it doesn't mean anything if I blow up 1 or 2 or 10 of these, I can go get some more. So Apex, when they run their 70 to 90% off sales, is a perfect fit for this, right? I think Apex is an awesome prop firm for 2 reasons, or for 2 types of people. 1, if you're testing a strategy, and 2, if you're trying to copy trade 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts, which I was able to copy trade 15 accounts today. I'll watch that at the back end. Now, it also has to be cost effective. So we talked about Apex being very cost effective. There aren't many other prop firms out there that are that cost effective. I would say My Funded Futures has a cost effective way-ish, where once you pay for the eval and you pass, you're just rerouted to a funded account. There is no activation fee. So that account, the cheapest one, is 127, I think, or 123, something like that. I don't have any affiliates for any of these, so I'm just talking about what I know. But you don't have to pay for anything once you actually pass. So it's more expensive up front, but once you pass, then it comes really cheap. Apex is the cheapest option. My Funded Futures might be next. TopStep has $50 up front and then $150 to pass. So it's $200 per account. It's $2,000 if you pass 10 accounts, and you can't even have 10 accounts with them. So like I was saying before, it has to fit the way that you want to trade. And there are really, I think, only 2 players in this game that make sense. Apex being number 1 if you're going to copy trade. And then you could also go with My Funded Futures. It'll just be more expensive up front for them. All right. Now, the ROI has to be there as well. So let's say we do decide to go with TopStep, and we're gonna do 5 accounts. Sorry to interrupt, but I did copy trade 15 accounts today. And sorry to interrupt, but I did copy trade 15 Apex accounts today, totaling over $200 of profit in just about 20 minutes of trading. Watch that on the back end of this video. But what I use are 2 things. I use the volume gaps, and I use the volume gaps automated strategy, which enters the trades for you, make you more consistent. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, or you would like access to it, you just want to learn more information about what the software is, how it works, what it does, and why it could be beneficial to you, then below there's a link to my calendar. Book a time. We'll spend 20 minutes probably talking about it. I'll get to know you a little bit. You get to know me a little bit. We'll talk about what the software is. And if you think it would help you in your trading, jump on in. If you're part of the Discord, which that link is also below, and you have seen some of the wins, you know that there are plenty of traders in there who are having a ball and they're doing it consistently every single day. So if it sounds interesting to you, or you want to learn more information, you're like, hey, I actually want to take my trading to the next level, then book a call below. I'd love to chat with you, and I'll see you there. Well, we need to start running the math on that investment. So we have 5 accounts. That means $50 per, and then we have $150 on the back end for activation fees. So that's $200 per account. It's $1,000. Now your minimum payout for Top Step is $500, okay? And the rules are pretty straightforward there. So $500, when you have to have $1,000 of profit in the account to get $500. So you can get 500 times 5. Let's just say we go for the minimum, $1,000 profit, $500 payout. So we're at $2,500 for $1,000 investment. That's pretty good. Like, that's an ROI that anybody would take. That's very nice. Now, because you can only trade 5 accounts with Top Step, like, that's going to be, and assuming you stick with making $1,000 and getting a $500 payout, like, your risk reward on that is decent. It's solid. Compare that to Apex, you have a little bit less money invested, and I don't really want to quote numbers here. Let's just say it's $30 for the eval. I'm going to use not their 90% because usually it's like $14. And let's say it's $80, or let's call it $90 for the accounts. So we could get 10 accounts for roughly the same price, and our payout could still be $500, but now it'd be 500 times 10. Okay, that's 2 times the size of Top Step, with basically the same amount of money invested. So a much higher return on our cash. We have to think about these things as we're getting payouts, not as we're passing, or not as the cost stacks up on us. How much money can we actually get for what we invest? Okay. Now, the last piece to this, which prop firm you pick, it has to be easy to copy trade. I trade on Tradovate. Okay, I don't copy trade across prop firms. That's not my thing yet. I don't do it, but I copy trade across accounts on the same broker, okay, or same prop firm, I guess. And so I use Tradovate. It's very easy to copy trade on Tradovate. I'm very familiar with it. I'm not so familiar with Project X yet. I will acquaint myself eventually because I have my funded accounts over there that will get switched over. But it's easy to copy trade on Tradovate. I can make a group. If you guys want a video on that, I can show you. It's very easy to do. But you make a group, and then you trade basically a multiple of those accounts, and then you're good to go. If it's difficult for you to copy trade with your prop firm, maybe you're not trading on Tradovate, maybe you're trading on Project X, and again, I don't know too much about them, or it's a different platform, then it's going to be hard for you to scale these accounts up if it's hard to copy trade, and then you have to use a different software, which is fine, but then there could be some slippage in there, and it could be very difficult. So using Tradovate, in my opinion, makes it the easiest, but there are some softwares out that you could use. I don't use them, so I don't talk about them, but it has to be easy to do. All right. Now let's talk about like comfortability and the amount of risk. I talked about this before, you're going to blow accounts. Okay. And you need to have enough cash reserves in order to retry this thing. Okay. The first time that you try and copy trade, it might go well. It's probably going to go poorly though, right? It just will. These are new emotions. You have new things. If you've never copy traded before, what you experience is cool because like you make $100 across like 10 accounts, $1,000. It's really nice. But if you lose $250 across 10 accounts, like now you're down a huge amount. And so everything is just amplified. Okay. Copy trading is as close to getting in the funded account as you're going to get when it comes to stakes, because there's a lot at risk here. You have a lot of money on the line if you mess this up. And so we certainly don't want to blow up these accounts at all. Now, I've stressed this multiple times, and I was writing this out. I really didn't consider what I was going to say before, but like you have to have enough money to purchase the funded accounts. I see this a lot where traders will buy an eval and even pass and then have to wait to activate the account. Like that doesn't make any sense. Okay. If we don't have the cash in order to like activate these evaluations that we've just passed, then we're kind of like missing the whole point, right? We shouldn't be trading if our cash is too limited to the point where we can buy an eval, but we can't pay to activate it to actually get the money. Like there actually isn't a point to trading evals if you can't activate the account, because the reason we trade evals is to get payouts, not to get a funded account, not to pass, not to get a cute little certificate. It's to actually get a payout. And so we have to like rewire our brain here and just make sure that we're keeping enough cash in order to like fund these accounts. So when you pass, you have to consider the fact that it's going to be somewhat expensive to pay for all these accounts. Copy trading is not cheap. And there's a reason a lot of people try it and they don't succeed, is because it costs a ton of money in order to do something like this. So we have to make sure that we have enough cash in reserves. The very first thing I need you guys to understand is, most of you believe this. If you watch the channel, you've heard me say this before and you already know this, but like, we don't do if I can just make $300 a day or $500 a day, I'd be fine. It's like, yeah, like no shit. Anybody would, right? If I could just make $500 per day every time I traded, then like, yeah, I would have no need for money anymore. I could just do this every day, click a button and I have money. Like, what are we doing? And so if you are somebody who believes that, oh, I can just make $200 a day, and you start running the math on $200 a day times this, like the worst chart I've ever seen is like $200 a day times 252 trading days is this so much money per year? It's like, God, oh my God, somebody trying to sell you something at that point. The truth is that you're going to have days where it's good, it's great, it's horrible, it's bad, it's good, it's great, it's bad. Like you're going to have this roller coaster of a ride, and hopefully it's like this, okay? It's up and down, but it is up and to the right. At least we're trending in that direction. It's never going to be a straight line. That's just not real. That's not how trading actually works. There's nothing in life that's going to be a straight line, and so you really can't think that way. When you're trading, you have to have the right expectations that you will have bad days, okay? And we're going to jump down to the 3 rule, which is a 3 loss rule, which is very simple. You need to have enough room in your account, enough room when you're trading to take 3 losses, okay? So if you've had a bad day and your stop is a little bit tighter, you need to size way down so that you can take 3 losses and still have the ability to take a 4th trade and maybe climb your way out of this thing. All right. We have to have enough room in our accounts. We have to have enough size. We have to have the right size in order to make sure that we're not going to blow up an account off just 1 or 2 trades. There's nothing worse. You're going to pay all this money for the evals. You're going to pay all this money for the activation fee. And then you're going to blow it in one day off just bad money management. We cannot allow that. We cannot have that. And if you want to be somebody who gets consistent payouts and like a lot of them from multiple accounts, you can't have this sort of risk management of like 1 or 2 trades blows up the entire thing. It does not work that way. All right. Now, plan the number of trades and feel. So I don't believe in profit goals. That's not my thing. There are some days where I'm like, man, I am crushing. And like this feels great. And so I'm going to keep trading because I'm seeing the market very clearly. Okay. And there are some days where it's like, I get up a little bit, I get down big, I try to crawl back up, I get down some more, and then I'm like winning, and I just get above like my break even. Like I just get above what I started the day with. I'm like, okay, it's time to stop trading. I don't have a clear feel for this thing. It's not really working out well for me. Or maybe I'm down like $300, then I get down $800, then I'm back up to negative $300. It's like, you know what? Let's just stop here. I'm clearly not seeing the markets the way I should be. Let's just pause. We'll come back the next day. And so an easy way to prevent yourself from having horrible losses and having horrible days is to plan for the number of trades you want to take first. And then once you've like, I'm taking 5 trades a day, I'm gonna take 10 trades a day. My sweet spot's somewhere between like 2 and 10 trades. Anything above that, it gets a little weird. And if I try to go for 1 trade, then I get too like cautious and I end up getting into trades really late and it doesn't work out very well. So somewhere between 2 and 10, if that first trade is good, second trade is really good, then like I'll just be done. And if I'm trading like 9, 10, if I get to like 11, it's like, well, I need to chill out. Like all my trades are too small for me to even be trying to grasp anything here. So I need to just walk away. So plan the number of trades you want to take, not a profit goal. Now, what I will say though, is for your evals, you have to size up. Okay, you size up in evals because you want to get out of eval land. You want to get into passing and funded account land. Once you get to the funded account, you size down. Okay, and if you're with Apex, like they really restrict your trail once you get into the account. You go from I like the 25K accounts because they have the right size of contracts and the right profit goal for also the trail. I think they're even, so it's the most fair to me. But once you get in, let's say a 25K account, you get into the funded account, it's $600, I believe. Yeah, $600, $675 or $600. So like my stop gets shrunken down, which means I have to size down. I can't just go 2 contracts like I like to, or 3 contracts in a funded account. My account will be gone like that. And so size up for evals, get out of eval land, get into the funded account land. Once you're there, then the game is like preserve the capital that you have and make money, but you have to do it a little bit slower. Okay, and Apex has decent rules for getting payouts as far as like how much money you need to make per day. You have to trade a lot of days, which I don't love, but you at least have the ability to get a payout. And they do make the profit goals reasonable. I think Topstep does a great job of that as well. And so does My Funded Futures. They'll do a pretty good job of that. But how to trade the accounts is we don't do fairy tale land. Like I'm just gonna make a few $100 a day and be done. Like that's so stupid. Plan for the number of trades you want to take throughout the day. Have a good feel. Like if it's not going well, but you're somewhat profitable, just stop. If it's going great, like you can keep going. But the moment you have a loss, you're like, I'm not seeing it anymore. You go ahead and stop. Size up for your evals and then size down for your funded accounts and make sure you have enough room. Now, technicals. This is just some other notes here. I think you should trade reversals and not breakouts. This is just what I believe. Reversals have made me much more consistent, much more profitable. I think they'd help you do the same. I know a lot of you guys like to trade open range break. You like to trade some of these like smart money concepts and ICT strategy, like all these different things. I really don't care. But I think reversals is a much better way to trade than trading breakouts. And they're just fundamentally built differently. Okay, so reversals, you're basically saying, I think history is going to repeat itself or it's going to rhyme. And whatever happens here, it's going to go back to where it came from, or it's going to go back to it's going to do what it previously did before. With breakouts, you are naturally trading something where it's completely random. Okay, a breakout, like if it's truly a breakout, price is in discovery mode. How much it decides to discover is pretty random. And if you're trading prop firms, you have basically no say in this because you don't have any real capital in the markets. And so this is a completely random experiment of price breaks out and how high is it going to go. And not every breakout's created even, and not every reversal is created even either. But not every breakout's created even, and they all look a little bit different. There's a break and retest. There's a straight breakout. There are things on different time frames. So what I would say is trading reversals will make you a lot more consistent, and honestly, the market doesn't trend more than 20% of the time. So if we have like a full week's worth of range, like one day where price might discover a newer low or a newer high based on what it's done before. For the most part, it's going to get up to a high point, reverse back down, get down to a low point, reverse back up. And you can bank on that, and that will help you become more consistent. Also, trade the same setup. So let's say you want to trade breakouts, totally fine. Like do your thing. Like it's not my money, it's your money, do your thing. But you have to trade the same setup. It has to be the exact same one. You have to be the same logic going into every single trade that you did the previous one. Because if you start mixing and matching, all of a sudden it gets random and you'll have good days and you'll have bad days and it'll feel the same. But the truth is you're trading different setups and it won't actually be the same. Your wins and losses will be skewed a certain way. All right. Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but copy trading is for like the professional. And I don't mean like you have to be a certain level of good in order to actually copy trade. I think you should have gotten a payout before or a few of them before you start copy trading. But this is not for testing strategies. We are not testing different things with copy trading. We are only trading what we know works. Okay. And if it doesn't work and you don't know if it works, then just trade one account. And if it works well for you, you can add a second and then add a third. You don't need to be rushing into 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 accounts and like blowing a ton of your own personal capital trying to make money, but you don't actually have a solid foundation for the strategy. Okay. So we're not testing strategies with this. We're just trading the things that we know. All right. Now, the last part is be aggressive, especially when you're copy trading these evals. You have to be aggressive. Our goal is not to pass. Our goal is to get a payout. And the fastest way to get a payout is to get ourselves into a funded account. The fastest way to do that is to be aggressive. So sizing up, but then taking entries that match your setups, but we can't be too cautious. And what ends up happening, there are typically 2 times where you're overly cautious with things. It's when you're really, really close to passing, you get a little bit too conservative, or you've had a loss or 2 in a row, okay? Either way, you have to maintain that aggressiveness that got you to the spot where like you feel comfortable copy trading these accounts. You cannot be arrogant and think, I know what the market's going to do, and so I'm going to get in this trade, and then it goes against you, and you're like, no. It's like, I'm right. The market's going to turn around eventually, and you keep adding contracts, or you keep holding on, and all of a sudden you've blown your account. Then it reverses on you, right? We don't want to be arrogant. We don't want arrogance. We don't want like overly confident trades. We want to be aggressive. We want to be somewhat a little nervous about the trades we're taking, but we don't want to be arrogant to think that this is definitely going to happen, because the moment you think something's going to happen, you're too late and it's gone, the move's over, and you're probably going to lose. All right. So those are all my notes for copy trading. You guys can watch me copy trade a few of these accounts. You can watch some of my setups, some of my trades on the back end. Happy to have you there. If you guys have questions about like just for me personally, whether it's my trading or my thoughts or anything, like literally anything, I have a link down below. Just submit a question. Like just, pop in your question. You don't have to put your name in there. Just pop in a question. I would love to make a longer form video, kind of like this, just answering your guys' questions. And I'll put one out here so that by the time you watch this, hopefully I've got one cooking already and we can get another one going after that. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the trades on the back end if you want to stay for that. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Now, because I was copy trading my 15 Apex accounts, I couldn't use the volume gaps automation. I don't have a copy trader that I want to use just yet with that. So I manually traded these. So you're going to see me take a lot more trades than I typically would with the automation because I'm manually trading. So I'm looking at the levels on the left side. I'm taking the trades on the right side. And that's how we got $200 of profit. It was a good day, bad, really bad, back up good, kind of bad, and then we got back to profit. So that's how that goes. Enjoy the trades and let me know what your feedback is, and I'll make some more videos like this. And please submit your questions so that I have things to talk about besides just looking at these trades. Okay, we're at $53 across all our accounts on that trade. Fine. Looks like that little move got us something. Looks like we're going to pop through here. Let's see where we go. I'm kind of looking at that 58 level up here. I don't want to sell something up there. See if we're a little too far away or not. There we are. Okay. Oof. Down 262 across our accounts. Tough one there. 74. That's a really tough one there. Let's try that high again. I'm gonna try this high here. I'm gonna concede this 3 points or so. Maybe we didn't get it. Let's see. I think price is like done rocketing right now, so I'm gonna try to catch this move back down and see if I can get it. Okay. We're gonna sell here, so we're gonna buy. Nice. Oh wow, okay, there we go. You just lost money on that. How? What the fuck? That's fine. Going. Okay, we're gonna sell. Okay, we're back down 12 bucks on that. That's crazy. Trading so many contracts. Jeez. This level here is the one we want to go buy off of. Finally, see if we can get it here. Oh, I might have missed it. It would have been this level right there. Shoot. That's the level I want. Oh, that level's I'm a little ahead of this level here, but that's what I would have wanted right here. This low right here. I guess I'll concede. It's like 7-point difference. Let me move down a little bit. 53, 55. I don't know if we're going to get to this level here, but if we do, that'd be cool. 53. I don't know if we're going to get that. Oh, yes, we did. Sell. Oof. Huge drawdown here. Yikes. About to blow these up. Holy cow. Oh. Okay, looks like we found maybe a bottom here. At 30, we'll try it. Okay. Well, that worked nicely, didn't it? That was sweet. It's a $4 trade across all our accounts. Really nice. Puts us back into profit. I'm gonna go at that same level again. I'll concede this. Actually, I'm gonna go a little higher. I will concede 3 points of drawdown potentially for that. So we'll give it some time. And then if this thing can't break above, then we're gonna go sell up here. So we'll wait for this to happen, but if we can't go, if we can't break above this, then we'll go sell. It wouldn't be the trade that I want, but it'd be the trade that price has given us. So I was not expecting this thing to flop like that and run down. I did not expect that. I'd be ready for anything. Same thing? Yep. See if we can get a bounce here if we're gonna run. Remember, I'm willing to give up those 3 points for an entry. Okay, I gave them up. And it paid off. Sweet. We're up 125 across all our accounts. So what I meant by give them up is like, what I wanted to do here, and I could take another trade here. I kind of like this level down here. We'll just put one down there. I don't think we're gonna get there, but if we did, it'd be cool. What I meant by this is like, I wanted to get into this trade at this 30, we'll call it the 30 level. And the reason I wanted to get in here and not down here was I wasn't sure if price was gonna get all the way down here. So I said, okay, if I get in here, I know price could easily run down 3 points, and it did. And it ran down exactly 5 points from my entry. But I was willing to give that up in order to get the reversal that I thought I would get, which turned out to be very accurate. So if that hopefully that makes sense, but that's what I was looking for is, okay, I got these wicks here. I know price doesn't want to go lower than this, or at least it's told me 3 times, once, twice, a third time. And we hit it, we nailed this one, but then we kind of nailed it again. We just had to give a few more points and then we put our entry at. That's all. So hopefully that makes some sense. Hopefully that makes some sense. All right, now we failed completely to go higher than this level up here a few times now. And so we're gonna see what we get here. And I'm gonna go and get the same level again here. Actually, I might go like a little higher. What? That was insane movement. All right, sweet. Good trade there. I'll probably just go ahead and call it. Let's look at our stats really quick here. I know I didn't trade very well today at all. I didn't trade well at all, but not bad. So 209 across all our accounts, 63% win rate, and that's just a factor of me having just a shitty draw on a couple of my trades. It just wasn't great, but we ended up doing okay. Largest win was $400, which is nice. Largest loss is 310. You're always going to have good luck when that's the case. And we have a high enough win rate that our average win can be smaller than our average loss and still be okay. Expectancy is $24, not bad. So 209 is our total profit for today across 15 accounts. So just over $3,000 across 15 of our Apex accounts. So not bad, not bad. I will post that in the group. But this is right here. This is awesome price action for us to manually trade. Again, for the automation, it's not going to be as good because the automation is just a little bit different. Automation has to be a little bit more careful. But the automation caught a really sick sell trade at 925, which is awesome.